Okay, so hello and welcome to yet another Gaming Masters video. So today I am going to be providing you guys with an overview of the brand new Star Wars Battlefront made by Electronic Arts. Now I'm playing this on PC in this gameplay, however I do have access early on Xbox One as well. Now I have played on all three platforms. This game is coming out in November, I believe on November the 19th, I'm not 100% sure there, and it's going to be primarily focused for the PS4 audience, simply because they've got the exclusivity deals and stuff. However, it's a fairly well done Star Wars game. It's not your standard Battlefront game, which hasn't been made for quite a few years. Now, the game is only going to be on Xbox One and PS4, so last gen I believe were originally going to be released but got cut because it just couldn't cope. And yeah, it's a fairly interesting game. I've never played Star Wars Battlefront. I'm a Star Wars fan, but I've never played a Star Wars Battlefront. I think the last one was 2005, I believe. Now, I'm currently playing Walker Assault, which is a game mode available in the beta and the full game. The beta is launching for everybody at 3 PM BST, so UK time, on the 8th of October, which is tomorrow at the time of recording this video, and you can just go and download it. It's not like the alpha, you don't need an invite or anything like that. However, you can get early access by getting the codes, but there's no point in getting the code, and also they have been selling, well, being given away like hotcakes. They go within about 8 seconds. Now, I do have feedback for the developers, and I have my general overall opinion. Now, this gameplay is starts from the beginning of my play session on the PC version of the beta, so you see everything as my first round. I've not played it at all on PC before, apart from the alpha, and as you can see, I'm just learning the controls a little bit here and there, making sure that I understand what's happening, seeing what's what, and I do think that there are quite a few changes that could be made. The quality of the gameplay seems to be fairly high. Also, as you can see here, you get to choose your sensitivity, so the sensitivity needs to be a bit lower than I've put it at, I've worked out. However, the quality of graphics, etc. are fairly high. I don't know why it's showing a controller there, because it's actually using keyboard and mouse. The key bindings you can change. I didn't change any, and the visual content at the moment is currently on the medium settings, which were the recommended settings provided for me. As you can see, I just changed it over to third-person view. Now, by pressing the C key on the PC, you can change between the 3 different view options. There is first person, there is third person view 1, as I like to call it, which is directly behind the person that you're playing as you might be able to see in a few seconds. And then there is, there you go, and then after that you also have another view slot where you're coming on from the left hand side. So they've got a variety of view options. I think the preferences could be saved in actual game, so you didn't have to change it every time. The time to kill seems to be fairly quick. As I mentioned earlier, the sensitivity I believe is a bit too high, at least for the settings that I had it on compared to Battlefield. You've definitely got to test out a different different sensitivity, because I've been killed within a few seconds fairly easily, and I've been struggling to kill people with it, and I've been fairly good at PC games recently on Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3, which use the same engine. So you'd think that the sensitivity would have the same effect as such. Now, the vehicles that I use in this, I believe, are all of the vehicles. You can collect the opportunities to use these with pickups, which are like little coins that you see on the ground, and you just walk through them, and then you, I believe on PC, press 4, which then activates them, and you go into them, and they have timers for the 80, and then the rest of the stuff you can just use until you die. As you can see, by scoring points, your timer goes up, and then by not getting any points, your timer goes down. It seemed to be fairly stable, however, sadly it's on rails, so you can't control it like the little ones, so they moved fairly slowly. Obviously, in some ways that's a balancing issue. I mean, the balancing fix as such, but I do prefer to not have them on rails, simply because you didn't have the option to turn around behind you and shoot behind you, so if you had anything coming from behind you, you were dead. Now, that was my only thoughts on the 8080, simply because I couldn't look behind me or do anything behind me, which I found fairly annoying, because I was being shot from behind multiple times in this gameplay, but I couldn't do anything about it, so yeah. I haven't noticed any great game-breaking issues in the gameplay. It's been interesting. The level up system is exactly the same as Battlefield, so you get XP for kills and kill assists and objectives, etc. However, the rewards that you get are way too much. In the first round I played on the game, I got 6,000 XP, earned 300 in the actual game through points from kills, etc. First round settling into the game, etc. But that is now over 5,700 in rewards for just playing the game and objectives and stuff. I know you've got to be rewarded for stuff like that, however, you really do need to have a balance between the two, because in my opinion that is way too much XP. People shouldn't be leveling up that quickly. I'm not sure if they'll be able to modify that in time for the full release, because it's probably going gold in the next week. However, it might be on a first or second patch. As you can see, the pickups are all over the place, and they change every now and again, and there are different locations for different things each time. So one time it may be an 8080, the next time it might be a hero pickup, which is where you are a hero like Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, etc. Those are all different on each map. There are 2 on each map active at one time. So on this map you have Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. On another map you will have a different hero from the Star Wars franchise. Now, in my opinion, the netcode seems to be fairly stable. I haven't noticed any problems. It's mainly been because my mouse has been too sensitive, therefore resulting in me aiming a bit too far in advance or a bit too slowly, which can cause whatever problems, like not getting a kill kind of thing, that may cause. And you think, hey, I should have got that kill, and actually it probably is because your sensitivity is too high. So, yeah, I mean, jumping, there are some people that can jump double the height. I think that's heroes, so Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker on this map. And as far as I can tell, I just shot with that gun at a vehicle, and it didn't take any damage. So as far as I'm aware, it's not like Battlefield Hardline, where you will take damage by shooting with your gun at any vehicle, pretty much, with just a standard bullet. The kill feed, I think, should be moved either to the top left or top right. I don't think it should be in the middle of the screen. And the health bar, I believe, should be minimized. That thing is when Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker or any of your other heroes manages to like die or something like that. They don't actually die. They just like go in a pose on the ground and then disappear off the screen. That could be changed. I think that he should like fly off or something. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that. As you saw at the end of that chat, that game, it actually showed up the chat. That's the only time I've noticed the chat in game. And here, as you can see, I get quite a bit of XP in terms of just rewards, which I don't think should be that common, simply because that's way too much XP. And yeah, the game modes that I've tried, I've been fairly pleased with and satisfied with. The co-op is an interesting take. Sadly, there's no campaign, but the co-op is offline. So I suppose your waves of assault with your enemies could technically classify as a campaign as such. However, it would be nice, as it's a tie-in kind of game with the movie, 7th episode, that they provided a campaign mode with maybe a different storyline, different approach, or even just a random storyline focused on the stuff in the game. I don't know why they didn't have a storyline in it. Maybe they just wanted people to play the game multiplayer only. It's not worth you guessing if you don't have any access to online facilities, because it is so heavily demanded on the multiplayer facilities. The home screen thing that you just saw, the spawn screen, I don't particularly enjoy it. I think it could be modified. It'd be nice to see if you could spawn on more people. Also, I couldn't really. It was smooth and clean, but you don't really work out how you can change your loadout as such. As I think you've got to have set loadouts before the game in that original screen, and then you go into the battle and bring those things in with you, and then you might be able to change between one or two things. I'm not 100% sure. I've not investigated changing loadouts mid-game. I've just played. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm starting to lean away from the game of the year. I think it's going to live up to the hype because it's not been a Star Wars game for years, and it plays very well, it looks beautiful, and that looks... I think that's what the community is kind of looking for. However, I don't think it's going to be as much of a Game of the Year contender, simply because it's not got a humongous amount of replayability. It's not going to be grindy, but it's because there's no storyline and it's more of a casual shooter. I don't think that it's going to have a huge amount of replayability. Therefore, I don't think that it will be a strong contender to Game of the Year in comparison to games like Just Cause 3, Rise of the Tomb Raider, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and what's the other one? Batman Arkham Knight. Simply because all of that has extra DLC content, and in some cases multiplayer, etc. Loads of different side quests, missions and things, which really does extend the gameplay for quite a few hours. This, I would be looking into probably putting in about 50 or 60 hours as a stretch. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be putting hundreds of hours like I have into Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline, and the number of hours I've put into Battlefield 3, which probably in total there's about 100. I've not played much of Battlefield 3. I wouldn't compare it to any of those games in all honesty. Even though it's based on the same engine, it doesn't feel anything like it. I mean, it's different. I don't really know how to put it into words. As you can see here, I'm bumping up the settings to ultra. But yeah, it definitely feels different. I don't know how to put it into words at all for a comparison to which game. It looks like The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt in terms of graphics, but it doesn't play like anything I've played before. I mainly think it's because there aren't that many third-person shooters that are... Yeah, I mean, this game is definitely meant to be played in third-person, and there aren't that many third-person shooters out there. Even if they do have the option for third-person, most of them have, as you know in this game, an option to go into first-person. But this is more aimed towards the third-person audience, let's say. So I really can't think of words to describe it. It's good fun. There are a few tweaks here and there that can be made. I think that there are quite a few things that need to be added at a later date to extend the playability and the cinematics and stuff. The controls for this I didn't particularly enjoy. It didn't really make sense. Apparently if you hold down you can go into lightsaber duel, but how you do that I have no idea. Yeah. Also, this game mode tends to last quite a long time. I think this game mode lasted 10 minutes, no, 20 minutes per round or something. So that's quite a lot. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, follow, and of course, as always, subscribe. I shall see you in the next video. I'll have Star Wars coming up on the channel very, very soon. And yeah, see you soon, I suppose.
Direct all firepower on that walker. The walker is exposed. Focus all firepower on it.